Alright guys, what's up and welcome back to the channel. So today we are going over the Year 3 Season 3 designer notes mid-season. So pretty much the mid-season reinforcements. So the designer notes series will provide you with insight into our balancing team's thoughts on operator balancing around the middle of each season. These will come after we have reviewed the data and feedback from the new operators and changes made with the last season. We are hosting an MAA, aka Ask Me Anything, on our subreddit starting at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, October 23rd. After reading these changes, please head here to ask your questions. So that's directly from this blog post by Ubisoft, and there's a lot of interesting changes coming in our way, and also they added the win delta per operator versus the peak rate per operator on each side. So defenders and attackers have these, so that's really interesting. We're going over these because that's the first time that I've been covering these, but they look really interesting, and they may indicate two operators getting nerfed very soon. But first, let's start this patch notes video by talking about the win delta and peak rate for the attackers. Alright, so here we are, and as you guys can see, the higher the icons are, the better their win rate is, and more to the right the operator's icon is, the more they are picked. So the Ubisoft best scenario is around where the sledge is at the moment, in those where those two lines meet. So sledge is extremely balanced regarding to their data. But what we are going to gather from here is that Blackbeard has the highest win rate of every attackers, and this is ranked on PC platinum and diamond ranks, by the way. So Blackbeard is surprisingly strong, even though he's not picked that much on those higher levels. At least he still gets a huge win rate delta. The next is Glass, and that's really surprising. Although on those ranks people tend to be pretty good aimers, especially on PC, and with organized team, Glass is a nightmare. But I was still very surprised that Glass was all the way up there. But they both are in the too strong, but they're still underpicked. So what that means is that Ubisoft thinks that that win delta means that they are too strong, but they are still not picked that much. So I don't think that anything will come to Blackbeard's or Glass's way. Well, not at least Blackbeard's. We'll get into Glass in a little bit. But the third is pretty much a tie between Dokkaebi, Thermite, and also Twitch. But Twitch is the most high, or the highest I should say, the highest up there, but she is in a little bit of a weird spot because she is also in the overpicked by pretty a lot. She's picked a lot, but she's also in the too strong category. Although her win rate isn't that great, but she's picked a lot. But on the other hand, Jackal, Capital, and Blitz are the least picked operators. Well, not least picked, but they have the worst win rate deltas. And Blitz, seeing Blitz down there, that's extremely surprising to me. But Finka and Fuse and Blitz, these are the top three operators that are picked the holy crap. I mean, these operators are picked the least. So that's weird. Also, there's Ash. Look at Ash. She's barely on the too strong side, but look at her peak rate. I use Ashe a lot, but I don't think she's overpowered. She just has a lot of utility because she has stuns and great guns. But I don't think her gadget is that useful. I mean, yes, there are a lot of traps nowadays, so that may come into that may be handy. But I don't know. Ashe, well, that indicates that something probably is going to be done with Ashe because she is picked so much. Ubisoft wants everyone to meet in the middle as much as possible in around that sledge area, and Ashe is nowhere near that. So that's interesting. But look at Maverick. A lot of people complain that Maverick is overpowered. Well, they basically just complain about his gadget being too silent, but I think they increased his volume because I've been hearing him a lot easier. I'm not saying that he's super loud nowadays, but just a tiny bit louder, and you can definitely hear him if it's quiet. But he's still overpeaked, but he is too weak regarding to this delta. So that's interesting, but let's move on to the defenders. Alright, and now we are here with the defenders, and as you guys can see, Jaeger is still the most peaked operator in Rainbow Six Siege on defense. So he's slightly under too weak, but he's peaked a lot. But I don't think my boy Jaeger is getting any nerfs because he's quite perfectly on that middle line, and he's a little bit under that, to be honest. But look at Bandit. Bandit has gotten a large hit after Maverick because he cannot bandit trick that well anymore. Mira is pretty down there. That's surprising that she has a little bit of a weak wind delta. But look at Rook up there. He's still not peaked that much, but holy crap, he leads by a mile. And then it hits Capcan and Frost. Holy. Alright, that's very interesting. I got very surprised that. Alright, I don't know. I guess that's fine though. More operators are getting picked, so that's fine. And not the quote-unquote meta operators. But look at Lesion. Alright, I just had to talk about my boy Lesion. He is in an awkward spot at the moment. He's in the overpicked and too strong section, and pretty much in the middle of that. And that's not a good place to be if you're Lesion. So my guess is that Lesion is getting a little bit of a nerf pretty soon if Ubisoft watches these win rate delta and peak rate delta, which they do, and they basically do every single changes regarding to that. But although I don't think that Lesion is overpowered, he is just very good, and he has a lot of utility with his great gun, the great SMG. He's a 3-speed. He has the goo mines, which are, in my opinion, are probably the best gadget in the game at the moment. Maybe what I would do to Lesion, well, I wouldn't do anything for Lesion, but if I had to, I would probably take one mine off of him, or that they recharge a little bit slower or something. But Ubisoft wants him a little bit down and a little bit to the left. So I don't know, that's interesting. But look at Clash, by the way. I was looking for Clash and I didn't see her in those middle to a little bit higher, but she is not winning as much. But a lot of people may think that now when Ubisoft nerfs Clash, they are nerfing an underpowered operator, but Ubisoft actually says in their post that they never intended Clash to be winning games by herself. So her data is actually pretty good because she isn't supposed to be that fragger. She's supposed to be a tank. She's supposed to be a support, and she should rely on teammates to get kills. She shouldn't be killing by herself. But Tatanka is waiting a rework. Castle also waiting for his rework. Those are not surprised, but Smoke is very low because of his SMG 11. I think his gadget is still amazing, but SMG11 is shit right now, so that's pretty well, that's I don't know. I never truly enjoyed going up against fully automatic SMGs, but I think they nerfed them a little bit too much. But let's move on to the next patch notes. Clash is getting nerfed, and as I told you that you may think that they are already nerfing the underpowered character or operator, but she is not underpowered. She's doing her job and she's doing it too well. Well, actually she's doing more than her job, and that's why they are nerfing. Reduced weapon swapping speed between CCE shield and sidearm. Delay before refilling charge after usage ends to increase to 2 seconds from 1 second. Attackers regain full mobility after 0.5 seconds, down from 1.5 seconds after being shot. So they also said here that we do recognize Clash is currently not performing well in terms of win delta, and these changes may lead people to believe that we are nerfing an already underpowered operator. We have made these changes to refocus Clash to fulfill the function that she was originally intended to perform, and do not anticipate a major impact on general rank usage or strength. The swapping speed change is more of a bug fix than a balancing change. We had never intended for her swapping speed to be that fast from a design standpoint. When players would immediately ADS, they would skip the equip animation for the sidearm and therefore significantly reduce the equip time. We also increased the amount of time it takes to put the CCE shield on her back, further increasing the amount of time it takes to switch to a weapon. Our design intention is that she should be able to swap to a sidearm outside of a gunfight or behind cover, but not be as lethal as she is currently. The issue with the current state of the delay in the refill charge and the reduction in the amount of time it takes for attackers to regain full mobility is that it led to players being able to shock her shock in bursts to keep attackers slowed for too long. On the topic of regaining mobility more quickly, this will also allow attackers to move around a corner and escape without Clash being able to chase them down and continue shocking them. The goal of these changes is to lower frustration and further empower our attackers in their ability to manage encounters with Clash. Ultimately, we believe that this will further drive the idea that Clash is reliant on teammates, as opposed to an operator that can exist completely independently. She is not intended to be able to hold half of the map by herself, and will now require the proper support from teammates to do so. Maestro is also getting a little bit of a nerf. Alda 5.56 recoil aligned with other LMGs. With the Alda, we took a unique approach to LMG hipfire recoil. His LMG would have reduced recoil the longer it sustained fire without aiming down sights. This led to confusion and did not play out in the way that we had anticipated. As such, we are removing this recoil style and will be aligning the Alda hipfire recoil with how the recoil for our other weapons acts. So that's a huge hit actually, because that was the key usage of Alda 5.56, and now it's gone. So all you Maestro mains better start aiming down the sights. SMG 11, reducing recoil to improve handling. Following the weapon sight misalignment fix that came out with Operation Grim Sky, we saw that it has had a significant impact on smoke and mirror. As such, we are tweaking the recoil value on the SMG 11 and also vector to give smoke and mirror a bit more viability when using these weapons. And as I said, vector got reducing recoil to improve handling. Also, they are talking two operators with current status. Lion continues to be problematic for us at higher level play. What a surprise. We have a designer that is currently testing a pair of separate possible short-term solutions. One adjustment would remove the intel gathering aspect of his gadget. Interesting. Or we may go with the other, which will trigger more of a Jackal style ping. This is still very early in testing and production, and we'll have more details to share once these changes have gone through some feedback sessions. And finally, Glass. Much like Lion, we are not happy with Glass in his current state. We are trying to move away from his role as one of the best side-pushing operators supported by his own smoke grenades. We want to bring him closer to the original idea of a sniper holding a line of sight with a high-powered rifle. I miss those days when glass mains would just hold the line of sight. This one is also early on in production, but is a bit more promising. Much like the Lion Chains, we will be performing additional playtests internally with pro players, and plan to share more details in a future test server or a designer notes entry as it draws closer to going live. So that's all on those designer notes, and whoa, that's a lot. So I'm pretty much happy with all of these. I'm a little bit sad that Lesion may be getting a little bit of a nerf. I hope they don't go too deep on him, too hard on him. I think the slap on the wrist is alright. And also, I don't think Ash is overpowered. Both of these operators have a lot of utility, but I don't think they are overpowered. Everything else, Lion sucks because his ability is retarded. Glass has gotten really powerful, and they recognize that. Clash is also getting nerfed, and I'm glad because she has been, while I don't have too much of a problem with her, but she has been too good by herself. Like they said, they wanted her to be with the team and not independent. So she is not a strong independent woman. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. This has gone for too long already. But anyways, let me know down in the comment section what you guys think about these changes. I will leave every single change down in the comment section and also in the description, like I said. But anyways, that's it. I'm signing out. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.